chaos reign.
Yes, yes. Welcome to this unique little stream here, or I call, a reactionary video. As you know, I go by the name of Chaos Rain here, the one and only. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the Chaos Rain channel. You know the drill. Hit that red button and hit that top notification bell for uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook, and join the Chaos Rain Discord service. The Discord is in the About section of the YouTube channel. So, looks like our good, friendly lady, the older lady from the Bronx, has returned. Jenny from the block. Oh, lack of short words. And it seems to me, after all the little outbursts she had back in 2021, I believe, with particular content creators.
I guarantee all the women that you've had bad experiences with were out of your league, or you couldn't tell, I'm not really feeling this dude. I'm going to get X, Y, and Z because he's a complete idiot. So I'm going to get X, Y, and Z. And you failed to see that. So you can't take that out on anybody else. Accountability and responsibility is yours. It's yours.
I preach accountability. Listen, you're right. I do. I preach personal accountability. I tell guys all the time, listen, you can't be a fat fuck living with your mama talking about I need a dime. That's bullshit. But by the same token, if you're a woman and you're loud and boisterous like you are, you can't expect a high value.
I'm loud with you. Rewind this video, okay? Don't pull that bullshit with me. I reciprocate energy.
Very respectful.
Okay? I reciprocate energy. You called me out my name. I called you out of yours. I have never done that on this platform. I have never once done that on this platform. A dog walk in, I can go bitch mode. Don't play with me. Don't pull that card. You came in like a complete bitch ass nigga, and I'm responding. Ad hominem attacks, gentlemen, and that's how I will respond. Don't pull that with me. Yeah. Don't pull that with me. You're not going to be slick. Don't pull that with me. You came in here like a bitch in heat, and I reciprocated. So don't tell me I'm loud and boisterous now.
You are loud and boisterous.
I'm loud with you. And that's why you're bitter about women, because this is the energy you give them, and they give it back, and then you want to point the finger at them.
Hold on. It kind of sounded kind of there at the end that you guys were kind of, it kind of sounded a little bit like you guys were kind of saying the same thing. It sounded like Donovan was and you, Jen, both of y'all were saying, listen, both the men and the women need to get their stuff together, right? Men need to be in shape, get their finances together. Women need to be in shape, maybe be a little feminine, right? It kind of sounds like, we kind of, even though we started very far apart, we kind of willed our way together.
Well, this is the real Jen. This is who she is. So,
all right. So,
is Black and Latin. I have said the word nigga since I could walk. I stopped saying it, okay, because I didn't like it, because I grew up and I felt there was a better way that we can address each other, whether it's a term of endearment or otherwise. Because people think, well, we changed the word. We made it a term of endearment. That's bullshit, because when you're pissed off at somebody like I was, what do we do? Bitch ass nigga, fuck boy nigga, you a dumb nigga, you a stupid nigga. So the word hasn't really changed completely to be a term of endearment. And I said, you know what? And it's going to sound corny.
Yeah, as y'all see that. Yeah. So, this is, I like to call, it's Jen. The wall is really unbreakable. Or undefeated, whatever you want to call it. And this is the reaction of this particular clip. Now, as y'all know, she said she was in a relationship and all that good stuff back last year. We want to believe that, but we'll take her word for it. But I find interesting that she has resurfaced in certain channels. And it seemed to me, Miss Jenny from the block is looking for more than just, I guess, dick, and call it that. I think she's looking for a mate. An actual mate that will possibly, take her in, marry her, and wife her up. Be more than just a jump off. And lo and behold, she appeared on this other lady's channel that's getting traction for some reason. And it seems to me that this woman doesn't look like she got everything in order than she expect. Especially if you come to another sister's or another black woman's channel looking for a man, or lack of better terms. So, let's run this tape here. And like always, we will use the fair use. Let's go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
And let's fast forward this nonsense. And mind you, she is 48, about to turn 49 by the end of December.
All right, this is Jenn
All right,
in
let's
Las
go.
Vegas. How old are you?
I am 48.
You look good, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would not have thought you were 48. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look good. All right, Jenn, Las Vegas, 48. What do you do for a living?
I am an actress and a writer.
Actress and a writer. Okay. You have any kids?
I do. A daughter.
Actually, her daughter, as you know, is a generation difference between Miss Jenn. So roughly, she had her almost 29 years ago, up to year 1993, if the math adds up. So she had her very young, and actually on time, real. Which, nowadays, there was some new data out here saying that the average age woman that's a baby mama now, and I'm not sure this goes across the board, but it says it's like roughly age 24. Actually, my fault, 26. Now, I'm not sure. When the brother revealed this, I had to ask for where to find it. I ain't gonna hit him up to really get factual, but we'll say for now, let's say it probably is roughly 26. But we all know first time marriage, from what I looked at, was roughly in the late 20s, roughly 28, 29. It might be now 29, but what I know, I just digged it up myself.
And grandson and one grandbaby on the way.
How old is your daughter?
And shout out to the Capricorns there.
29.
29. Okay. When's your birthday or zodiac sign?
I am in December, Capricorn.
Capricorn. All right. This is Jenn, Las Vegas, 48, an actress and a writer, has a 29-year-old daughter, and is a Capricorn. What kind of man you looking? What kind of man you desire, girl?
Oh, they're gonna get mad at me, Kendra. They're gonna get mad.
Why are they gonna get mad?
I want the sixes. I want over 6 feet, over 6 figures.
Now, I'm not sure was it with these ladies with the 666. Sound like some Mason thing, man. Sound like some carbon 666 mark of the beast. Beware, gentlemen. Beware when a white lady says 666. And don't get me wrong, it's good to be in the number of 6 in some fashion. But for the sake of conversation, when you hear them constantly saying 666, mind you, that is the mark.
6 inches, over 6 inches. And I know people cringe when they hear those sixes, but that's what I want.
I mean, is that what you normally date? I think that's probably what you normally date.
It is what I normally date. It is what I normally date. Yeah.
That's what I say. Listen, if it's in your world, and and I posted this, I should have saved it. Right. Shout out to Carlos Miller. Is that his name? He's a comedian. If it's in your worlds and it's in your environment, then it's not far-fetched. But if you're not around it on a regular basis, then it's probably going to be far-fetched. You got to figure out yourself how to get around it. I mean, there's obviously women that date those things. Those are, but let me ask you this.
I like that. If it's in your world, that makes sense. If it's in your
world. Well, no, I mean, yeah, like what he said is.
Well, no, it's not in your world if you're able to get it. There's different. There's a big difference. Big difference. Big difference. You have to position yourself, and he, as attractive as possible to the opposite mate. Now, this could apply for the men too, but most men nowadays, they know the drill. They only get what they possibly could bargain, unfortunately. But in regards to ladies, you go out to make yourself so appealing to this male that he'll take you on more than just a jump off. What do you call things? Come, whatever you want to call it. Anyway.
That, and I gotta find the clip, and I wish I gotta get better with this because you can add videos as you're on live, but I really loved it. He said men date what's in front of them. It's like, okay, who's here? What's around? Those are our choices. Women, they make up a guy in their minds who they've never. Carlos Miller, yes, they make up a guy in their minds. I put it in my IG story, and they say they want all these things, and they've never met this man in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. So I am not against. Here's the deal: if it
that to me is projection and what they call imagination. It's what we call daydreaming. That's something I added, mind you. And really, if you're picturing this so-called figment of imagination, you always got to keep in mind, majority of people, like this woman, I can say this woman, is usually Christian-based. And they always got to fantasize of their dream perfect guy. But we all know in reality, there's no such thing as perfection. It's only bargains and what you can negotiate. And nothing's wrong with dreaming, but you gotta be realistic in what you want and be able to make some form of trade-off. The standards with the Western people, Western man, Western woman, especially women, is they asking for a whole lot, but they really don't really have or much as really be able to compete to get what is rightfully theirs. It's all about competition, ladies. What will you do to fight for it? What are you able to bargain, negotiate? What things are you going to have, or what things you're going to be trading off with this wonderful, mysterious, perfect guy? And mind you, they made a movie of this as well. For those that didn't know that. Anyway, let's keep going.
This is why I talk so much about those men, because that is my world. My world is men of entertainment, men of money. That's what I've been living in 20 years. So if it's your world, it's your world, child. But you got to think about it. If it's not your world, here's the deal. Two men.
It's funny Kendra said that. I wonder, in this world, for a woman that's now 42 years old, how many bodies you have piled up in this world of entertainment? Because let's be honest, you're not married, baby. And I find the modern woman nowadays, because they're around a certain pool of men, like she is, that they might be one dude that really wants to take you seriously, but when you say you're a career woman, I mean, the only consequence you have to face is that waiting longer makes it very hard to get a certain type of man that you want. As you know, you see lately with a lot of these dudes like the Michael B. Jordans, the Tyrese of them, that they're really dating women that's around their 20s. They're not looking forward to say, all right, I'm in my 30s, let me call it quits, settle down, whatever, and, go find a woman that's my age. We're not seeing that today. I'm not seeing it, and damn sure Mrs. G's not seeing that. So what's the next best thing? Well, as you know, she frees her eggs because she has no children. But she hoping that, one dude is going to tickle her fancy, and she's going to just draw out the nice frozen eggs out the freezer, in the nice water, the ice cube carton, and pull that sucker out, melt it a little bit, and then stick it in her, the man inseminate his seed. But nonetheless, let's continue. And the fairies.
They have all the qualities that you desire should be in your world, and one should at least be trying to pursue you. And that's how you know you're not reaching too hard for what you qualify for. I think that's a good assessment.
That's a very, very good assessment, because then I'm overflowing. Then okay, I'm in the ballpark.
That means that means you're in the right pool, because what happens is this, and we're gonna go back to you, Jen, but we keep having this conversation like there's piss in the pool. No, there's just piss in the pool that you're in. There's several pools, though. There's several pools. So, like, when women tell me certain things, like there's certain, like I never even heard of a man asking for a woman for money, but that is a pool, right? So what you gotta decide is, and this goes for men and guys.
Well, a man's asking for money because let's face it, you look like you might be money, sweetie, and look like you have some or a lot, whatever. So a man's gonna beg you for some change. Now it is your decision if you're gonna pull your purse and give him that $1, $2, $1, $2, $3 It is a conscious decision that every person has to make. Now, let's say to give that man your little money. Did he work for it? Is he giving you what we call the good deed for it? I mean, this question you should ask yourself, because what makes sense for a man? And let's be honest, most times if you're a big, overweight, obese woman, and we're not talking about thick, we're talking about fat, like rolls everywhere, stomach bulging, then bigger than your belly. Sometimes they might have to go get the surgery. That you're gonna be most likely, if you're that lady, you're gonna be paying out of pocket for a man that's either not big or very thin and attractive. It is what it is. Let's keep going.
If you feel like there's piss in the pool that you're in, figure out a way to get out of that pool into a different pool. And that's how, and then there it is. So, but now, Jen, I'm gonna bring this to you. So you're around these men.
Yeah, and this applies to men too, So I might agree with her with that.
Right, you're around the men with all the sixes, right?
Yes.
So why haven't you settled down with any of those men?
I think because for a long time I've been like, I want to be single. I want to be single. I don't want anybody. I don't want to be single. So they pursue me, but I think now I'm known as she don't want anybody. She wants to be single. So I kind of like pushed everybody away because I'm in a business where it's like you have to boss up to work around these guys or you'll get nothing done because everybody wants to date you.
What I came on to tell you is that the dating market is not as simple as you think it is.
It is for me, though. It is for me. So now I feel like they feel like I'm standoffish.
Oh, don't forget, you also have to sleep with these dudes as well. Now, mind you, don't be fooled because we have Me Too now. That don't think these dudes are slinging cock into some of these, C or D list actors at best. You know the saying, what's on the menu? Oh, vagina. Or we say, yoni is on the table. So obviously, if you don't look too ugly and you look attractive enough, yeah, you might have to open them drawers and bust wide open for them roles. Trust me, Hollywood has not changed, people. Hell, it was a black woman that really initiated the so-called Me Too movement. Personally. And because of her sacrifice, it opened the floodgates and opens Pandora's box for every other woman to come out the closet, come out the woodworks, and say, yes, he's the one that did it. Yes, he took my vagina. I was so innocent. I did not want to do it, but he told me if I don't do this and threatened me, then I cannot get this role. Well, by all means, sweetie, you don't do the role. Your self-respect should go a long way than constantly getting some little cheap role for some crummy movie. And that's the facts. Facts.
Or I don't want to date, or I'm one of the guys. So now I'm stuck in that world.
So are the guys that once pursued you, they're not available?
They're available, but they see me a certain way, and I need to keep it that way for business. Like I don't want to mix business and pleasure because I like the network for business. Once you add romance and booty to that, it gets messy. Okay. Then there's piss in the pool again.
Okay. Now listen, not saying that there's not no.
She gave up the draws right there. She said she wants to keep it business, not pleasure. No, Miss Jen, there's no such thing as business and pleasure. Don't take this personal. It is business. the pleasure on the side. Men with status and power, like in the entertainment business, if you're not tapping them cheeks, they don't want to hear from you. Hell, you look at most of them that are directors or whoever that run these, even the ones that runs and coordinates the films and all that stuff. They know by default they're not gonna get access to attract women like that. So what's the second best thing? You have to give them an offer that they willing to not refuse, and that is their draws. You get me? That's how it works. That's the business of things. So if you're conflicted between the two and you're trying to get away from the side, meaning get away from being just a piece of meat, you're going to have to leave that business. And Las Vegas, last time I checked, is a cesspool of prostitution, whoreism, and gambling. Unfortunate. And, it is what it is. Let's keep going.
Faithful men that have the 3 6s, right? I'm not saying that, but you do know if you live in that world, there's a lot of non-faithful men that have the 3 6s, which is the 6 inches, the 6 figures, and the 6 feet. Is that a deal breaker for you? Do you want to be the one and only girl?
I want to be the one and only girl if we start talking commitment. If we're just dating, then it's like, do you, I do me, we're both busy. But if we're going to buckle down to commitment, then yeah, it's just going to be me, because it's just dangerous. Bodily fluids and, scandals and screenshots. It just gets too.
What I came on to tell you is that the dating market is not as simple as you think it is.
It is for me, though. It is for me.
Wait. But you were not doing that and was thinking about the last decade or two, or maybe last couple of years since you've been in this business. And I'm not sure how long she's been in the business, because she says she writes and does acting. So obviously, if you look at some of the films that she is present, they're most likely weak films, most likely. And like always, like anybody that's like a C or D list actor at best, it is what it is. And looking for a long-term commitment, you can get that. It's achievable, but you might have to lower your standards depending on the dudes you're dealing with. Any dude that's making money is in the business. He's not in the business person, and I gotta be honest as a man, telling most ladies that's gonna listen to this, they're not in the business to sit there now and say, I'm going to take you as is, as you are, as your age, no matter how good you look, to take you as a serious potential mate, not partner, mate, because nowadays we talk about partnership and all that stuff, but we all know here in the West that most people don't want to be partners. They want to just be casual hookups and casual, getting on, I mean, cause think about it. You get the milk, like they say, for free. But why is the milk for free? Because the milk should be already off the table before it gets spoiled. Because if you sit there as the milk, you're going to get spoiled. Meaning you're going to age out. You're going to taste bad. Do I need to go more? Do I need to go more in this, people? Talk to me, please. Talk to me. Anyway.
Messy at that point. So I would just like a guy to say, I'm not going to commit. I can't commit. I like dating other people. I don't mind men that like dating other people. Just let me know, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to move forward. I just don't like men that lie about it.
Okay. Are any of those 6s non-negotiable? Could he not have 6 inches? Could he not have 6 figures? Or could he not be 6 feet? Or you?
Before we continue, make sure you share this, like the video, leave a comment at the end of this video. I'll be looking forward to read it. There might not be hate for this because, let's be honest, certain content like this doesn't get much traction, but it's good examination because, as you know, this so-called Latina, or actually she is a Latina, the white one. And the funny thing about these, and you gotta be careful because I'm talking about the Afro-Latino, unless you see both their parents and one that looks dark or almost look like a Negroid enough, we're not going to take their word as gospel or as truth. There are a lot of women, and we could say men, but those that's from the Hispanic side of things are white. And they will use the term loosely in front of Negroes, say I'm Afro-Latino, so that way they're in front of other what they call non-whites or etc. So they fall in that minority status. But we all know there's a distinct difference between the blacks and whites. And definitely Miss Jenny from Black is the white side of things. As y'all know, we go back memory lane. She was calling a couple brothers, especially one, Mr. Sharp, a nigga. But let's keep going.
To have all three.
The 6 figures I'm lenient on, because people like saying 6 figures, but I'm lenient on just as long as you can pay for dates and trips without hurting. That's it. If you can pay for dinners and dates and trips without saying, hey, babe, we can't do that this week because I got to pay child support. You know what I mean? Just be financially stable, whatever that is for you.
Now, she'll say that they got to pay child support, which is find that very funny. It tells me that she is not dealing with older men if she's talking this nonsense. Now, 6 figures. That quantifies where you're from or what state you reside. Now, paying for trips, everybody knows if you work in which most Americans work, they're not sole proprietaries or work themselves per se. You're not going to be paying for trips every week. Maybe every 5 or 6 months, depending on how you budget yourself. But you have to quantify what you mean by paying for trips. How often do you like to travel? These questions. And isn't it funny that Miss Kendrick, she never sits there, she hasses it and really press the issue and really, can you quantify that? Can you give us detail, or can you explain a little more detail what you mean by paying for dinners and trips? And the reason why she will never do this is because she is a weak version, not even actual knockout version of the one Miss Kevin Samuels. All right, let's continue.
And then you can add a woman to it. I could be lenient. The 6 inches, I'm more about the stroke. Okay, you gotta have a good stroke. So it doesn't matter if you're 6, 8, or 10. If your stroke sucks, then it doesn't matter. The 6 feet, it's not easy. It's not hard to be taller than me. I'm only 5'4", so I do 5'9".
Now she talked about this stroke. Listen, baby, if you not get killed or get fucked with 9 or more inches, the stroke, unfortunately, is irrelevant. Now, women gonna fight me and say, "Oh, the man's figure he still can't stroke." Listen, unless you get your pussy beat out by a man that's 9 and bigger, especially if he's 12 inches. Hell, we could say 13 inches. Some women can't handle it. They will sit there, bawl and beg. Matter of fact, they will take their hand and push. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I say more. I ain't gonna go into it. Let's continue, guys. Let's keep going. Very easy.
5'10", but ideally, I like tall men. My daddy was a tall man. You know what I mean? It's like I come from tall men, so I like tall men. But I won't throw on the heels, and you could be 5'9".
Okay. So listen, now you did mention you're Puerto Rican.
Yes.
So is there a race preference?
I'm open, but I will say this: I've never in life dated a white guy. Okay. So I don't need
a race difference. This one's gonna be interesting, people. Maybe you should pay attention to this one. Just pay attention to this one.
Even know how I would communicate or get along with a white person. I never have I dated a white guy. They mostly been black.
Stop the cap right there. Stop the cap. If you're Latino, you're gonna be dating another on default, most likely one of your own or some white person executive. And trust me, I think there was streams she was on that she did date it, a non-black man. I cannot find it per se, but y'all go out to search the internet, YouTube, find out about it. Yes, says she has dated non-black men. So don't take my word for it. You gotta find that, guys.
Latin early in my dating life when I was young and a teenager. But I'm open. He could be Indian, he could be Asian, he could be black, he could be I don't know about white. I don't think me and white would get along. Just putting it out there.
Shannon Tatum, though, isn't I feel like Shannon Tatum is my white boy crush, child.
And why is you and white men will not get along? I mean, you're a fitting match. The only thing different is he might not be so kind to eat, the rice and beans, the chuleta or Spanish foods, He more likely inclined. He needs some of his Western European foods, like mayonnaise, some raw. Actually, no, cooked beef, but raw enough, bloody enough. The foods that Caucasians like to indulge. You know what I'm saying? The casseroles, the lasagnas. And I'm just using different reference of different ethnicities in regards to the tribes of the Europeans, but nonetheless, they must consume Western food and eat Spanish food because we like people in the Caribbean. People like to use spices and stuff. Is the rule order of things. So, yeah. But we're gonna continue. Fair use.
Don't get me wrong. I have white boy crushes, but I don't know if we'd be able to relate. I'd be afraid that later on down the line, it's just, he's not going to know who Wu-Tang is, and it's going to be a problem.
Tom Brady know Wu-Tang.
So she's looking for a ghetto Caucasoid, a ghetto Brad. That's gonna be tricky, baby. But like I said, you have dated outside. Well, I don't know if this is considered outside race because you're white Latino, white Latina, so that's not a story. So you're looking for that hood type. That's no problem. That's easy. You might have to venture out. There might be some wingers down there in Las Vegas. But, let's keep going. Praise.
Well, I mean, I got you, girl. I got you. All right, so let's go to deal breakers. What's some deal breakers for you?
Okay, this one's really going to set people off. This is really going to set people off. I am an atheist. I don't like religious men. So I know I knocked off like 99% of the men on the planet.
Well, damn. She's an atheist. Very rare you find Latinas subscribe to atheism. She's not following capitalism. That means she doesn't want to be submissive. She doesn't want to feel, in regards to sticking out with your mate. I can see a lot of red flags here why she's single. Besides, she has a fucking mouth, but you know how most brothers like that spicy Latina.
I don't like religious men. I'm an atheist, and if he is going to be religious, I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm not going to convert. I don't want anything. So that's a deal breaker for me. Also, someone who's paying a lot of child support, someone who has children still in the home. I don't have children in the home anymore. I need a guy who has his children off to college or off and married. I'm not anybody's stepmama. So those are deal breakers to me. I don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to do it. I love kids, but I don't want to deal with yours. I just don't.
She doesn't want to deal with yours. She doesn't.
See, she's very selfish. At 40-something years old, you might be dealing with a dude with kids, unfortunately, sweetie. And you're going to play stepmother. Because most dudes, if they got control or got full custody of the kids, you're going to be playing stepmother. Hell, you hear all the time a lot of these weirdos or these chicks saying that you're a certain age, why don't you play stepdaddy? How dare you, in your rabbit ass fucking mind, want a man that doesn't have no kids to play stepdaddy to your kids? Unfortunately. Now, if he decides to do so, if you fit the bill, then fine, he'll proceed. But don't say to the man that you want a man to play goddamn stepdaddy. Have you know stepdaddy season's over? You hear it from a lot of dudes throughout the internet and possibly in real life, depending on their generation. Don't want to be no fucking stepdaddy. But sure as hell, your demands are asking for it because you feel that you're entitled to it. You're entitled that you should not play stepmother. But at your age and the dudes that you're looking for, 9 10 times, if you already have kids, they don't want to deal with you because you already had kids. And on you have crashed the wall. Let's continue. Fair use. Fair use.
Not okay. So atheist. Have you always been an atheist?
No, not maybe 11 years ago is when I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. It's not making
just
sense.
Curious. I'm just curious what made you switch?
Just I started questioning a lot of things over and over again, and I visited different churches. This wasn't like, oh, I'm mad at God. No, I studied Jehovah's Witness, Scientology, Christianity, Baptist. I did a lot of different religions, and none of them were making sense. And I saw similarities, and I was like, I don't need this. I have self-determinism. I have morals. I have compassion. I can give love and receive love. I don't really need the crutch or like the hospital or church atmosphere of religion. And I was like, things just happen. There are good people and bad people. We're born, we live, we die. Religion just stopped making sense to me. And I was like, I don't want to keep, subscribing to something that I don't believe in and that doesn't make sense to me. I don't like my mind being messed with. So I'm like, I don't believe this. Why am I here? I don't believe this. Why am I praying? I don't believe this. Why am I, So it was gradual. It happened. 10 years ago, I was religious. I was like, God, and let's pray. And Jesus said, and I was all in. And then after a while, I was just like, this doesn't make sense. So he can believe in his Jesus, the black one or the white one. I just don't want to hear it.
Ooh,
I don't want to hear it.
God, you haven't blessed them.
Yeah, she said she don't want to hear you. So, guys, if you're a Christian, which most majority Western people are, 80%, this one might not be for you, especially if you're a man that's of any value. You better be an atheist. Mess around with her. If you're not an atheist, she want nothing to do with you. Man, she's gonna look at you as a weirdo, thinking that you pray to a sky daddy, most like a non-black sky daddy, white one. She said, I am an atheist, a real atheist. Only my power, my destiny, I believe in myself. There is no higher spiritual being but me. Looks like Hebrew Israelites are not going to fit the bill with this one. Let's continue the fair use.
Food when you eat then. He can even pray for you if he can even bless his food if he take you out to eat.
No. Listen, he can pray for me because I just see prayer when somebody says, I'm going to pray for you or God bless you. I see that as good vibes. I see that as good intention. So I'm not this type of person that's going to be like, don't pray in this house and, the hell with your God. I'm not like that. I accept people as they are. So when people say God bless you or when people say I'll pray for you, I don't correct them. Because they're just wishing me well. So I'm not one of those atheists that's like, you better not talk about God. No, you're wishing me well. If you say God bless you, if you say I'm gonna pray for you, Jen, I'll be like, thank you. You know what I mean? I don't believe in it that way, but I'll say thank you because it's good intentions. I take good vibes. I take good vibes from everybody.
But could he bless could he pray for the food if you guys are eating?
Yes.
Oh, this prayer. Listen. Either you want a man or not. And I said this, and I'll say this again. Majority of people in this country, besides outside the country where she's from, because she is Puerto Rican, so we know Puerto Rico is not no fucking atheist country. It's either a Catholic and a Christian country. End the story. So, just by saying it and directly telling him off the bat, you have cut the pool of potential mates. Unless you're looking for another real atheist, which most of these dudes that are valuable, some might not worship God or like what you got, but really true, they know say if you're a woman that doesn't really take contact, it's a red flag in their eyes, personally. Because what do you bring besides, yourself and maybe old WAP? I mean, that's the question you should ask yourself. Because a man will ask this in the back of his head. Keep in mind, people, just for food for thought. Fair use.
Yes. Okay. If that's what he does and that's his thing, yes. I'm not that type of atheist that's going to be like, you're making me uncomfortable. No, if that brings you solace, if that's your thing, do that. Just don't try to convert me because then you're messing with my reality in my mind. And I'm not trying to convert you to atheism. So you can pray, have at it on your knees, Muslim, rugs, whatever you like. But I'm not gonna partake.
Okay. So Jenn, you kind of mentioned it when you said 6 feet, but any other appearance requirements?
Someone who cares.
666 people. That's the mark of the beast.
About his appearance. I can't tell you how many grown men are walking around with dirty fingernails. So someone who cares about his appearance and his health. He doesn't have to be, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Or Flex Wheeler, but care about what you look like. Care that you have a gut, right? I don't have a gut. I have a 6-pack. I work out.
That's what's up. Shout out to that, to the 6-pack gang.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
So I want to be.
Shout out to the 6-pack gang. Now, mind you, like I said this and I say this again, there are some men out here that keeps their body in shape. Out there. But the question is, are you asking more than your price that you could bargain? Because let's be honest, if you got a 6-pack, most likely the dude you look for, if he has somewhat close to that or more, is the attraction nonetheless. And I know most dudes nowadays are not going to kill himself for a 6-pack, unfortunately. They can keep the belly slim, or don't have the gut should not be too big. One thing about guts, since ladies talking about this, is a man should not have a beer belly, like a belly that's sprung over this shirt. That's some gentlemen we could or we must do better. No matter what age you are, if you're drinking alcohol, and I mean alcohol, besides other foods, alcohol puts weight on you. It keeps all that things that's supposed to filter out your liver, especially your kidney, and it's hard for it to remove the fatty acids and tissue out your body. So that way it's able to accelerate and remove the fats in your bodies. Once you take on alcohol, no matter what age you are, I don't care which type of body type you are, you put yourself at risk to having big bellies. I'm not a person who consumes alcohol. Never have, never will. I rarely drink it. But I know by putting certain things in your body, it does increase the risk of making you even more obese. I don't care how much exercise you do. Once you start consuming too much alcohol and you're not really watching what you take in, it's going to store as fat. It's going to store as fat in your liver, and it's eventually going to give you a big, big belly. They hear him talk about, say, you got a dad bod. Well, the dad bod is a result of consuming too much of unnecessary refined calories, especially when it comes to drinking. So, just for food of thought for you guys. Let's continue.
I don't want any more fixer-uppers. I don't want guys that I have to encourage to work out. I don't want guys that I have to encourage to clean their fingernails. I don't want a guy that I have to encourage to brush his teeth. I don't want any those. That's a huge deal breaker for me. No more fixer-uppers. No mas. No timeout. I'm not fixing anybody at this point. I'm done.
Okay, you're not fixing anybody up. Okay, no. And you mentioned it also too when you said 6 figures. So does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Like I said before, just enough so that he's stable and never hurting when he wants to do something for me. That's it. So whatever that tax bracket is, if I can say, hey, I want to go to Hawaii next month, I don't want him to be like, oh, but I got to pay child support. Like, yeah.
Have you had that? Because you mentioned that twice. Did you deal with a guy that had a lot of child?
Yes. There are a lot of men with a lot of babies that are paying a lot of child support, and their new relationships suffer. That's why I empathize.
It's funny because she deals with a lot of black men by default. And don't be fooled when she tells about she's Afro-Latino. No, she's not. She's white Latino. Keep that straight. Let that be known, people. That is not funny. Very ironic. You talk about these dudes with kids. So in my back of my mind, you have a kid that's an adult. The dude that you're dealing with most likely is either 5 years younger than you, and hell, maybe 5 years or 10 years older than you. Is going to possibly have kids, depending on age. So he's going to really compensate and have to take care of his kids. So if child support is tearing your ass up, what Jen has laid out, my biggest question is, why are you dealing with a man that has multiple kids by more than one woman? Especially if he's not married, because let's be honest, the marriage rate in America is, when it comes to, as much as I don't want to say that, but it is what it is. And if these dudes not married, they see you as baby mama at best. Pump and dump at best. Side booty at best. Oh, make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream, etc. You know this is chaos right here. Reactionary time. Let's continue. Fair use.
As with men, the court system and the whole child support, because it does hurt future relationships. I've been turned off by men, and I've left men alone that were paying too much child support. Straight up, like it's hard.
But my only thing to that is, why do you sympathize with the men? They created those babies.
Well, I sympathize because sometimes the money that they're taking from them is more than a child needs.
But if they would have settled down with that woman, they wouldn't have to pay child support at all.
That's true. That's true.
You sure about that, Miss Kennedy? Because does a woman file for divorce more than 80% of the time? So what happens to when the relationship falters in an actual marriage? There's what they call 50-50 custody, but is it really applied in all states with a marriage? And maybe I should do more digging on that, saying when people divorce, what happens? Does this father place child support? Because I know he's going to probably pay some alimony, depending on how long the marriage was. But is he going to be entitled to paying child support once the marriage is over? That's something we should be asking. But, let's keep going. Fair use. Fair use.
Let me tell you something. I don't sympathize with men and child support, because you were out here creating these children, and for whatever reason, you decided not to be with that woman. And not saying that this is her fault, whose fault, who knows? All I know is this child was created and the parents aren't together. So yes, and then maybe if more men are responsible with paying child support, they won't be out here just keeping having babies. I know a lot of men, because of child support, it made them more responsible. Like, I can't have 5 kids because I got this one kid. So I don't sympathize with the men, because you sat there and you got that woman pregnant. You didn't marry her. You didn't settle down with her. So yes, you're going to pay child support.
So I agree with you.
Before she gives a response, you must understand, Miss G. Child support was never enforced until the early 90s, 30 years ago, since Bill Clinton came to office. He had to make it not only mandatory, but and enforce it by, i.e., take away driver's license, or i.e., imprisoning the man. Because let's be honest, most of these men, and I have to agree with Mary Brown, they're not paying no fucking child support up until 1992. Some might have, but let's be honest, child support and the child support gods are tearing these men up. And in a bad fashion, because let's be honest, you're not married to this woman, you're not dealing with anything that's really secure. So obviously the court systems and all that stuff are gonna make you pay. And depending on your state, they might make you pay pretty hefty. Now, mind you, the dudes that have to pay the most, probably a guy like that, and their baby mom might have go and ask for more money to the courts. Because let's be honest, some women don't want to be mothers, they just want the check. Unfortunately, it's out there too. But as being a man, you know what's out here, unfortunately. If your mom don't teach you, the world will teach you at the end of the day. Now, does it stop them from personally going to have less kids? That's a lie. It's a lie. There are men right now that people know right now close to them that have more than one baby mama and they're paying whatever child support, and his check is divided to each child that he produced by this said woman. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Let's keep continuing. Fair use.
I believe in child support. My thing is, go finish doing that. Raise your kids. Use your money that way. I think men want to add a woman to a budget and they can't afford it. So pay your child support. But I know a lot of men are paying a lot of child support and they're barely living. So that's what I'm talking about. But I believe
I get it. No, I understand. I mean, I totally get it. And I understand that dynamic too. I just don't be sympathizing with them, child. But we're going to keep going. I got you, Jenn, though.
Well, you won't be sympathizing, Kendra G, because you're not even a mother. Hell, you're not going to be having kids. At 42, freezing eggs, you want to be a fucking grandma or old. Well, you're already up there in age already, regardless how you look. And mind you, she has got her body augmented. So that's no secret there, people. No secret. Because usually when people that got money, they do two things. Get tummy tucks, BBLs, lip injections, etc. Oh, don't forget, they get breast implants as well. So that's not your concern about, the child support. You might, if you play cards right, which you are, you don't want to be no old ass woman having kids, especially freezing eggs. That's just out of the question. Oh, I do. It's weird. It's just weird. Let's continue, guys. We only got a few more minutes left of this, and then I'll probably wrap this up.
All right. So, all right. What was your last relationship?
Going on a year now. Going on a year.
Oh, okay. You broke up a year ago. You don't got to answer this question, but when was the last time you was intimate with a guy?
November 8th or 9th of last year.
Okay. Oh, you remember the date, child. When's your birthday?
Well, what we have here, I'm going to go back and find the few videos to find when she had that conversation with TLA and Mr. Sharp. Because last time you fucked was back in November. I hope there was no coincidence the day when you were on that panel. I'm going to double check, but don't worry, guys. I got you covered. Let's continue. Fair use.
I didn't get to, you're a Capricorn.
It was after the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. I remember.
Okay. So I remember. Jenn, do you want the guy to be in Las Vegas?
That would be ideal unless he can afford to fly around, again, without it breaking his pockets. If you want to be somewhere else and you're going to fly to me or I'm going to fly to you, then fine. But ideally, he'd be out here. But if not, if you can fly.
Okay. All right. So this is Jenn in Las Vegas, 48. What's the age range?
You
want to date?
I'm on my
Hold on, guys.
Old stuff now. He got 40 is the minimum, right? 40 because it's hard to get a serious man, and you got a better chance if he's in his 40s. I say 40 and older.
Well, one thing.
Okay.
Oh, guys, let me say this. One thing, at least she's reasonable that she not be dating no younger dude. She gonna have. I would say, matter of fact, I'm gonna let run more, and then I'll give my perspective of who the possible candidates that will deal with Miss Jenn from the block. Yes.
No cap?
Oh yeah, there's a cap. I don't want no ED in my life. So I 40, 60. If 40, he looks good.
If he looks good?
Yeah.
See, that says she don't want no ED in her life. Fellas, if you approaching late 40s, 50, make sure you got your blue pills ready, or make sure your health is clean. Usually when you have the things that you can't get it up, that's a health problem. That means you got a heart problem. That means you got to change and clean your diet. You're going to clean them arteries. You might have to do some cardio, whatever, and you might have to start taking some serious herbs to start clean up the blood. That's the only way to get and make that cock that falls on the ground rise to the occasion.
He gotta look good. He gotta be like one of them 60-year-olds that's still in the gym and cares about his fingernails and his teeth and his stomach and 40-60.
Okay. Does he have to be in Vegas?
No.
Okay. You kind of answered this earlier too, but I'm gonna just ask it directly. Why do you think you're single?
Because I've been pushing people away. I've also been wanting to work on myself and my finances and make sure I'm good. So I stopped dating. I was like, let me give myself a break. Also, I wanted to have a break in between my relationship. I didn't want to monkey bar into another situation, knowing I was fresh out of, the ex. So I gave myself a break, you know what I mean? But now, I'm looking around, I'm seeing people dating and hanging out, and I'm like, I want to go to dinner. I want my white wine. And you know what I mean? I want to start, having conversations. And those first couple weeks and months are amazing. Your heart beats when they call. Like, I'm missing that. So I'm ready.
You're ready. All right, Jen, why would a guy be lucky
to yeah. That might be challenging. I think Kendra needs to really work on her interview skills personally after listening to this. And she has interviewed a lot of people, but she never really applied more pressure to a lot of these ladies like how she does to the fellas, which I find that ironic. But it tells you she needs to start watching some of these Kevin Samuel streams and understand how to ask proper questions and to really emphasize and stay on it and try to ask the deeper questions. That's my suggestion to Miss Kendra G. These interviews that she's doing, these little these hookup shows, it has to be more across the board. There's too much half truths. Not a lot of things have been said. A lot of things have been questioned, asked, more clarity, detail. He's not applying pressure to the person that's, looking for this mate. She could do a whole lot better job than this, personally. That's how I see it. Let us this is almost done. So let's continue.
be with you?
Because this may bring me back, but I'm an advocate for submission. I'm a very submissive woman. I'm a very subservient woman.
I would never get that. Not as an insult, but you seem very take charge to me. Very.
I am very, very take charge. So that's why I have to throw out the disclaimer. He has to be stronger than me. He has to be more driven than me. I even take smarter than me. He has to be an intellectual. I'm not just going to submit to anybody because I have a very strong personality. So he has to come with it. I don't mind submitting, but you have to be the boss. You have to come in as a boss, and I will submit. I'll throw on the apron and, do the eggs and the grits and all of that. But you have to be about it. Too many men want submission and they don't qualify. So that's my disclaimer. I'm very submissive, but you got to be a boss. Don't even hit me up if you're, if you like, oh, I want a girl to go 50-50 with me. Don't slide in my DMs. don't do it. Don't do it.
Woo! Whoa. Woo. That's gonna be challenging, sweetie. At this point in life, dating older would make proper sense. But to get what you're asking for, that's gonna be very challenging. And she is a Gen Xer nonetheless. And if she asks for too much, well, she look like she could be reasonable in certain things that she wants, but asking for all what she's asking for right now and talking about she's gonna be submissive. If you're not submissive from the start, you're not gonna be submissive now. There's gonna be times you're gonna be a trick or a chick, and it comes with territory. But nonetheless, dudes you looking for, unfortunately, it's gonna be an entertainment business that has more options than you, Miss Jen. They see you. If they don't get booty at the first night, they're moving on to the next one. It is what it is. I gotta keep it real. Let's continue to wrap this up, man.
We listen, Jen. You know what you want. I ain't mad at it. Okay, let's get into it. This is Jen in Las Vegas, 48, who everybody agrees looks absolutely amazing. 40 to 60, she's an actress. 40 to 60 is what she would date. She's an actress and a writer. She's a daughter that's 29 and is a Capricorn. How you want them to reach out to you?
Now, we don't want to know where we're going to reach out to, because usually the dudes that's going to reach out to you, they know what it is. They know the drill. You get me? Like I said, my suggestion, and usually I give suggestions at the end of it, maybe solutions, that maybe you're going to have to lower your standards. What you're asking for, that should have been gotten, and that should have been secure 15 years ago. I bet it should have been secured roughly 25 years ago. Yes, 25 years ago at best. Now at this point, your asking price is pretty too high for the market. You know the drill. You have many partners, like most modern women today, which is expected because nowadays most women, they explore their options and feel so as long as they get something out of the deal, which either is the attention and dick, that's more than enough to fulfill their every needs and desire. But once you get older and the phone stopped picking up, as you could tell, the phone has stopped picking up, the rest is history. The wall is unbreakable, people. It is unbreakable. It is no. I see it. So like always, this is the Cast Rank Upload Fair Use section. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that red button, that top notification bell, up there the Cast Rank. Also on Twitter, and add me as a on Facebook, Eric Crane on Facebook, and join the Chaos Discord service. Links are in the description. Until next time, you know what it is. Let it go.
What I came on to tell you is that the dating market is not as simple as you think it is.
It is for me, though. It is for me.
No one wants to hear a 50-year-old woman scream. Now, if you say you stand by everything you said, then that's fine. Fine. But now I understand why a lot of people had a problem. I was only operating under the one piece of information that I had when you said a couple of streams ago that you consider yourself an Afro-Latina. So I thought you were part of the in group. But you're not. And then you're listen, all right, so do you feel like you owe Donovan Sharp an apology for calling him a bitch ass nigger, or no?
First of all, I'm 47. I'm not 50, but I know what happens in the manosphere, right? I know the ageism in the manosphere. I'm 47. Second, nobody should use the word nigger. Not even.
I'm just asking if you feel like you owe him an apology. That's all I asked.
I think that we both owe each other apologies. What do
you think you owe him an apology for, Jen?
And no, I shouldn't have been screaming.
Jen, I have a question. What do you think you owe him an apology for?
For calling him out of his name. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, for calling him out of his name. But I think we both owe each other apologies because we both got hyper. But I'm not going to apologize for what I observe and what I comment on. I'm not going to do it. And the reason why I was just yelling, and I don't want to be yelling on anybody's platform, not just yours, but on anybody's platform, is because when I come on this platform, you have to understand the energy. I have 500 idiots in your chat section coming at me, and then I have you correcting me, and then I have panelists coming at me, and I've been holding my own.
All right. Listen. We got one rule here. We got one. There's so few rules. There's so few rules on this.